Bismillah, welcome to another episode of The Bridge. Today we got another brother from a different area, from a different angle as well. Inshallah, we got Mustafa from Batis, a football team that's doing well in the Sunday League. And I don't know what other leagues, but we're going to get into that as well, inshallah. So yeah, Jazakumullah khair for coming, bro. And as we usually do, we get into it straight away, where you're from, where you're raised, you know, the usual. So where you from, bro?
So starting off, I was actually born in Finland.
Finland?
Yeah, that's where I was born. I moved to East London when I was 8 years old. So year 4 at the time in school. And yeah, I was raised in East London all my life, really.
Okay.
So yeah.
So from Finland, what age did you come from there?
I was 8 years old when I moved there.
Okay.
Yeah.
From there?
Yeah, from Finland. Yeah, so I was quite young moving there.
How's the difference between Finland and here? I've been to Finland once, and it seems like it was a very just white.
Yes, yeah, it is a lot different, to be fair, in terms of the culture. I mean, like you said, a lot of white people. But the early years when we were there, we're talking in the 90s and stuff, it was hard. Do you know what I mean? So a lot of stuff I've experienced when I was young that I remember till today, a lot of racism stuff going on in Finland. Yeah, strong. They were really strong out there.
Okay.
And that was one of the reasons why we actually moved to London, England, because it's more diverse and you're more well accepted in this country, if that makes sense.
Of course.
So, sorry, your parents from Somalia?
Yeah, my parents are from Somalia. Both my parents were born in Somalia. And they migrated to Finland in 1990.
Okay.
Yeah, 1990.
In terms of your siblings, all your siblings born in Finland?
Not all my siblings. So I've come from a big family. Okay. So there's 11 of us, mashallah. So there's 11 of us and 3 of those were born in Somalia.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm mistaken. 4 of them were born in Somalia and the rest of us were born in Finland. Yeah, the rest of us were born in Finland. The youngest was born in 1999 at the time. And I said, yeah.
Inshallah.
So when you're saying Finland now and you said you experienced this stuff, what are some of the experiences you had there?
If I can go back, I remember living in a block of flats. There was a neighbor upstairs, you know, he used to do wild things, you know. Like he used to pick on, because in this block there was 2 Somali families, us and another Somali family who we're not related to, but through knowing each other for long, you can say we're related, you know what I mean?
Of course.
So I remember, you know, this one geezer coming, pissing on your door and breaking your door and stuff like that. And, you know, my dad at the time going through commotion and fighting, and it was crazy, man. I remember some bus journeys, you know, being called the N-word and stuff. Yeah, it's crazy, man.
You use that in Finland?
Yeah, strong, man. Strong, really strong out there, man. I still got a lot of family living there, and till today they're still experiencing it, you know?
Okay. And what about school there then?
School was alright. If I remember, I don't remember too much because I was quite young at the time. But there's some instances I remember in school it was alright. You know, I had a good little friend there that probably don't remember now. Do you know what I mean? But yeah,
but it wasn't, the environment was different.
Yeah, I remember as well. Like in terms of religion there as well, it wasn't really like Friday prayers. We used to pray, but there wasn't many mosques about in Finland at the time. Now there is. But I remember praying Friday prayer at an ice hockey stadium, like a little, because back then ice hockey, they're quite strong with ice hockey over there. Like, you know, you've got proper club setups and stuff like that, like football here. Okay. Do you know what I mean? So,
but no masjid. You didn't have a masjid there.
In my local area, no, there wasn't really a masjid, no. So we used to, I remember you guys madrasa young, we used to go to like a community center, like a little hall, but there wasn't an established mosque, if that makes sense.
Okay.
So I remember Friday prayers and Eid prayers, we used to pray at this ice hockey ring. Do you know what I mean? And it was literally praying on ice. But obviously it wasn't real ice, it was synthetic ice.
Of course.
But and it wasn't cold or anything like that. So it was alright, man. Like, but there was a strong, I remember there, like, there was a lot of Somali community in Finland at the time. Do you know what I mean? But everyone was scattered in Helsinki. Do you know what I'm saying? So
that's where you were, the capital.
Yeah, capital. Yeah,
you were there as well.
Yeah, I was there. Yeah. So it was good. And then obviously moved over here, and that's when experience kind of changed. You know, I remember year 4. Well, some would say when I was at school at the time, when I come over here, I was a bit aggressive. Do you know what I mean? I used to get into a lot of little fights in school.
What area did you move into, sorry?
East London. So literally where I live now, Newham.
Newham, okay.
Yeah. So been there all my life. And at the time, when I first moved to the country, I felt like I was getting picked on. But that's because I didn't understand the language. So the only way I had to defend myself was just fighting kids. Do you know what I mean? So saying kids were obviously my age and stuff like that. So
You have no other someone in
no,
place
not
that
the
would
school.
teach you?
No, nothing at the school. I mean, I had a translator at the first year. And then after that, literally, for like 3-6 months or something, after that, I picked up the language quite quick. When you're young, you absorb it
Quickly,
Yeah. So I picked up the language, so I was all right. But then, at the beginning, I remember getting into a lot of fights and stuff. And then, 5 is kind of where I created a friendship circle where I started to, be a bit more open and taking a lot of people in.
So we were discussing yesterday, about primary school and the younger years. So kids, fitra is like your natural disposition. It's not to be racist. Yeah. So kids will mix. So when you're saying fighting, are you talking about even in the primary years? And do you think it was due to racism?
It was, I would say because of where I come from at the time, seeing, my dad having to fight, grown men, try to defend himself and stuff like that.
So was that you assuming that they might be racist to me and I've just got to kind of like be aggressive?
Yeah, it wasn't necessarily like racism because
okay.
obviously there was people that was fighting out of the same culture as me, like black people and whatnot, Asians or different, because it was mad diverse. And especially the primary school I went to, there wasn't many white people. Do you know what I mean? It was a lot more the Asian community and the black community at the time. So it was more so like, just picking up on laughs and stuff. It was little petty stuff. Do you know what I mean? Like, I used to go up to him, you're talking about men. I used to laugh the way I used to talk, do you know what I mean? With my little accent and stuff, do you know what I'm saying? So I kind of had to defend myself in that sense. And then after that, that's when I moved there is when I got into football. And and I just loved it ever since, if that makes sense.
So just going back onto that time, so let's year 4, year 5, year 6, primary school still. There in Finland, you're going to, let's say, Juma at least, in that kind of like ice hockey stadium or ground. So now, of course, London, East London, a lot of Muslims. Are you going to madrasa? Are you going to the masjid?
So I was actually even studying in Finland at the time, the Alif Bata and stuff like that, infant stuff. So, and then after when I moved to East London, is where I've,
carried on.
Madrasa. So I carried on, obviously, because my family, especially my mum and dad, they're very religious. I mean, so they pushed the religion really hard on us. You know what I'm saying? So
you were able to read the Quran.
Of course, read the Quran. At early age, I was doing quite well actually. When I got to about 11 years old, I remember. So madrasa was a different kind of madrasa. This in Finland they were a bit more lenient. It was a bit more once a week kind of thing. You know what I mean? When the ustad at the time kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? Whereas here it was 3 times a week. Do you know what I mean? Constantly going in. Do you know what I'm saying? So even when you're going home, you're getting taught. Making sure you know the surah by heart. Do you get me? If you don't,
it's a bit more militant.
Yeah, do you know what I'm saying? And if you don't, you know what I mean? You know what's waiting for you. Do you get me? So it was different. Do you know what I'm saying? So, but it was good as well because, especially outside as well, a lot of my friends that I talked to about their madrasas and how they studied, it's more it wasn't really like trying to be a hafid kind of thing. He was pushing the angle, whereas a lot of like the Asian communities, like my friends, that they know the Quran, but in terms of just by reading it, in terms, you know what I'm saying? So rather than closing it, do you know what I'm saying? So they were taught different. So
you was pushed to memorize the whole thing.
Yeah.
You're talking about here?
Yeah, here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Pushed to make everything.
Yeah.
Was it a Somali madrasa? Was it?
It was a Somali madrasa in terms of the people that were going.
Oh, okay.
But the ustad, it was Algerian.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But everyone there was Somali. And then, it was good, man.
So did you memorize a large amount?
A large amount, I would say a large amount, about I'll say about 4 chapters at a time, but I never kept persistent at it. I wish I did. But my brother, obviously, my younger brother actually, he's still going at it and he's still going strong with it. So,
It takes a lot of discipline.
Yeah, it does.
You don't realize like how many thousands of words you're actually keeping in your brain and consistent to keep it up.
That's it.
It takes a lot of discipline. So moving on anyway, so you're in primary school, you're playing football now.
Yeah, I'm playing football now. Just
You
enjoying it.
didn't do that in I'm guessing in Finland. That's ice hockey over there.
It was but there was football there. Obviously, my older brother at the time, he was playing football. You know, he was playing for a professional team, but obviously at a young age. You know what I mean, like under 13s at the time. But yeah, my older brother was playing football, but I never took that interest into football when I was in Finland because majority of the kids, like you said,
It's
ice hockey, ice rings. You know what I mean, ice skating.
And I don't know what, but when I went there, it seemed like it's a very snowy place.
It is.
So how do you play football?
You play literally from
Indoors
majority of the time, or there's a period of April to about early September, August where there's not much snow. Sorry.
Okay.
And yeah, so it's alright, but majority of the time it's literally just snow.
Some of them have domes. You know, they'll have a dome. It's open air, but there's a dome.
So we do have the whole of the country
now.
Like in the play area,
facilities.
There'll be a cover. So it doesn't. The rain and the snow doesn't touch them.
The facilities now, going back to obviously seeing like my family and the facilities now has improved because like you've got AstroTurf domes and you've got domes there. You've got Pie Leagues that are just domed off. You know what I'm saying? So everything is indoors. So now the facilities have gone much better. Whereas before, I just remember everything being outside, if that makes sense. Cool. So it was a bit harder to get into football then. But as soon as I moved there, to be honest, this country is dominated by football.
Football is the main thing.
Yeah. So,
even not now, to be fair, basketball is being pushed a bit.
We're here.
Yeah.
Not like football though.
Not like football, but it's slowly becoming like football.
It is becoming a thing, like
becoming a thing.
I've noticed that as well, that it's becoming a thing because a lot of my mates now that play football, they watch football, they talk about basketball. I still
slowly becoming American, man.
Yeah.
Gonna start seeing some long t-shirts coming up.
Do you get me? So it's crazy.
Wherever America does, Britain does next. Actually, that's just normal. But yeah, so you started. Obviously, you're in year 4, year 5, year 6, whatever. You started playing football.
Yeah.
Obviously, we know what you're doing in football right now. Did you at that stage have the skills then, or is it something that you acquired as you kept on going through the years?
I think something I acquired as I was kind of going along because I remember, playing young at that age, my whole secondary school, I wasn't really playing 11-a-side, if that makes sense. I was just playing indoor football, walk in the cages and barking, with my friends and stuff. I mean, I wasn't really taking it serious. I was actually just playing every day. But I was playing every day. Do you know what I mean? I was quality in terms of like, I had the skills and whatnot. Do you know what I mean? But
it's more enjoyment.
It was more enjoyment at the time. And then as soon as I left school, is where like
11.
So as soon as I left high school, was at the time where it got harder because a lot of the kids now, I remember leaving high school. Like first time I left high school was like, you have to find money. Do you know what I'm saying? My mum was like, yep, straight away, yep, you're paying your phone bill now. Do you get me? As soon as I turned 16, boom. She was like, rah. Do you get me? And then them days you were paying, you get more responsibilities, EMA and stuff. I remember them days we were getting paid EMA, do you know what I'm saying? Pay for your phone bill and rate. So
what about education in terms of how did you do in education?
Education, I mean, to be honest, I was all right in school. Primary school, strong, year 11, high school, up till about year 9, year 10, I would say, I was strong. And then towards the end of year 10, year 11, I kind of slacked off. I could have done better in my grades, if that makes sense.
GCSEs?
Yeah, GCSEs. I could have done much more better than what I've got. But still, alhamdulillah, I'm happy with what I've got. Do you know what I mean? I passed my basics, maths, English, science, my IT. I've done what I needed to do, basically. But I could have got better grades, do you know what I'm saying? But that's because I was comfortable with what I was doing, if that makes sense. I didn't really push myself.
Okay.
I was more so out there, if that makes sense, playing football and being with friends, if that makes sense.
Did you go college or
I went college. I even went tuition. My mum was pushing me to go tuition and stuff, but more time I used to be that kid that used to sneak out of tuition and stuff. I would go, yeah, mum, I'm going tuition, yeah, but I wouldn't go tuition, do you know what I mean? And looking back, I regret it, if that makes sense, because, she put in her time and money into it, do you get me? As you get older, you start to realize these things that your parents are doing, do you know what I'm saying?
And it's not like
you take it for granted, do you know what I'm saying? But yeah, man. So
and also in that period, so before you've hit 16 or gone to college, got into football in kind of like a more passionate way. Were there any troubles? Meaning, what kind of like temptations? Maybe drift from from the straight path, basically.
No, there's been a lot. Because again, like as I was saying, I've come from an area where it was quite hard, do you know what I'm saying? So as soon as I left school, obviously I go into college now, I'm starting to play football. But at the same time, see what my other friends are from. Not all my mates play football. Do you know what I'm saying? So my other friends are more on the roads and whatnot. Do you know what I'm saying? Doing what they need to do to get by and whatnot. So I've never actually told this story to anyone, but obviously my family and my friends know. I remember when I was about 17, 16, first time I was going football, going to a little incident. That was the first time I got arrested. Again, so I'm concentrating on football. I wasn't really strong at college. I used to just sign in. My college grades wasn't the best. Reason why I wasn't focused. So I was more focused on football. So I was doing things, I was playing football, and I got into a little trouble, got arrested the first time. And then my form tutor at the time, who I was giving trouble, first year of college, I was giving him trouble. Do you know what I'm saying? And till today we speak because of what he done for me. Do you know what I'm saying? So I remember anyways, got arrested, cool, I've asked for whatever. They set me up kind of thing. So they're like, yeah, they asked me, do you need a solicitor? I said, yeah, I need a solicitor. Straight away, boom. Sorted it out, whatever, cool. Got a phone call after, I think 5 days later, straight away, boom. Usually takes a while to do these things.
5 days.
5 days straight away, solicitor calls me, goes, listen.
But you've been released though, yeah?
Yeah.
You're on bail?
Yeah, I'm on bail.
Okay, yeah.
So 5 days later, boom, solicitor calls me, goes, listen, nothing's looking right for you right now. People spoken, whatnot, everything's putting at you. You either take the guilty or we'll try to fight it, but more time you're going down basically. So I was like, okay, what am I looking at? It goes 2 years straight minimum. I'm young, so I've never experienced this in my life. My other friends have, and they say, you're right, you get me, you're good, don't worry about it. I was like, bro, 2 years. Me, I'm panicking. And I was like, okay, cool. And he was like, but if you push, wherever you get guilty, well, we can give you something light. Do you get me? You're doing well with your college and red. I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, college?
I'm doing bad.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like, college. I'm like, yeah, no, in my head, I hang up the phone. And then my option only now is just to go in there in the courtroom in about 2 weeks later, which they pushed it forward. It was meant to be a month, but they pushed it forward 2 weeks because everything's against it. They just think it's sign this off, whatever. They pushed it forward. So I'm thinking, okay, cool. So I went college. 2 days straight, I was good. I went to class, I sat. My tutor's thinking, what's wrong with Muss, innit? I'm answering the questions, I'm enjoying it, Went the next day, I'm all good. The third day, I come up to him. So the guy was giving trouble. 3 days, in there. He's like, right, you've been doing well. He pulled me to the side, you've been doing well. That was my chance. When he said that, you're doing well, like, you know what I mean? You're up to date with your course and that, you caught up, like, yeah, man, what changed you, like? You know what I'm saying? Like, all of a sudden, And I told him, listen, Mr. Patel, at the time, I said, look, Mr. Patel, I'm going to be honest. I'm in a bit of trouble. So I told him, this is the situation, and I need someone to kind of come in to give me a statement that, how I'm behaving. I told him the situation, what happened, basically. Long story short, he stopped, he sat down, he looked at me for literally a minute straight. I'm waiting for him to speak, innit? I said, you okay? And I was like, he goes, yeah, I'm all right. And he goes, your intentions was for me to be by your side to help you to further your life, but all those stuff, what you've been doing, and I've been getting on you, keeping you behind, is because I want better for yourself. But other people out there and what you're chasing is not what's not good for you. Do you know what I'm saying? And he used to lead the Friday prayers as well at the college. And me, I'm taking a lecture in, innit? And he was saying some deep stuff. And then he refused. He said, you know what? I'm not going to do it. He refused me. I was like, okay, cool. Thinking, no, this is a mad thing, innit? So now I'm running out of time. I've got 3 days till I'm going to court, innit? So I tried my luck again. I said, look, 3 days, my other option was to go to my football community club that I was playing for at the time, West Ham Community Kicks, but I didn't want to go there. Reason being, I didn't want to tarnish my name, if that makes sense. I didn't want to do it because I was doing well there with the football stuff, innit? So I didn't want to go to my coach, even though it would have been happily to do it. But I don't know, for some reason, I didn't feel to do it, if that makes sense. I thought, nah, I'm doing well, do you know what I'm saying? I'm enjoying my football. I don't want to bring that drama to him, do you know what I'm saying?
You don't want them knowing.
Yeah, I didn't want them knowing. I didn't want no one knowing, do you know what I'm saying? So, anyways, 3 days I'm pushing late. And then he said, okay. He agreed to do it. I said, look, you know what I mean, 3 days, do you get me? I told him what I'm looking at, I'm basically begging for a minute. And he goes, reason why I said no, he said I was always going to do it, but the reason why I said no, I just wanted to see how you were going to be after that. Still after that, I was attending lesson. I was being on time. I was just doing my thing. He's like, the reason why I said no, I just wanted to see how you was. Because if I had said yes to you straight away, you would have went back to what you was doing and not signing off and walking out of class and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? Not taking me seriously. He goes, I was always going to do it, but I just wanted to see how you was. Do you know what I'm saying? And then he ended up standing there. He ended up coming cool. You know what I mean? Made a mad statement. He said something nice about me, all of that stuff. And yeah, they ended up giving me community service. It's very small. Do you know what I'm saying? So I done that. And then, yeah, it was good, man, after that.
So that was like your first stint with...
Yeah, after that. And then after that, like, it was, you know, seeing my parents, you know what I mean? Just having to face them and how they took it. Do you know what I'm saying? Even though it wasn't something major, it was just seeing them, how they took it and bringing them real pain, if that makes sense, and fear of me kind of thing. Do you know what I'm saying? My mum changed straight away. She looked at me in a different light at the time. Do you get me? So, and even though it was something small, I just couldn't understand it. So even till now, at the age of 27, who I'm living away sometimes, do you get me? Even till now, she's like worried. Do you get me? Because of that incident. But she'll never admit it. Do you get me? So
after that, there was.
Alhamdulillah, after that, I just stuck to my football, stuck to my education.
Learned your lesson from the first
learned
time.
my lesson from the first time. Obviously, my older brother who's been there, do you get me? You probably see him on the channel if some of you lot watch it. He's always there on the side. You know, sometimes he's our linesman. Do you get me? He's always been a big support of my life, if that makes sense.
Is that the one that used to play football?
He used to play football. Yeah, he used to play football. But yeah, he don't play football no more. So yeah.
What would you say is the reason that incident happened then? Wrong timing, wrong friends, what?
Yeah, I would say a mixture of both. I would say it's a mixture of both at the time. Wrong timing and wrong friends, I think.
Muslim friends? Non-Muslim friends?
Non-Muslim friends at the time. Majority of my life has been, even now, like, majority of my friends are non-Muslim. Obviously, the guys I play with football that I see every day, you know, majority of them are non-Muslim. But a lot of my, I would say, the people that I don't play football with, obviously there's two teams. You got the Hilltop side, the Somali lot side, but they're on the other side of London that I sometimes link up with. They're my friends as well. They're the Muslim side, and then obviously the East London side where majority 24/7 with. They're the non-Muslims. But yeah, majority of my, like, the ones that don't play football, they're more of my Muslim friends. You know what I'm saying? But
do you think that's helped you in a way? Because sometimes, you know what happens with, sometimes, especially with Muslim families, they see an area and they say, you know, it's a lot of Muslims here. It's going to be good for the kids.
Yeah.
Not knowing. So they're kind of a bit more relaxed. The kids can play outside because, you know what, they're with Muslims. But those kids get up to some crazy stuff.
I mean, to be fair, I've never looked at it like that, because whether they're Muslim or non-Muslim is who you attract at the end of the day. So even a non-Muslim, even the Muslims now, you know what I mean? Muslim by birth, you know, they're getting up to no good. Like, especially some of my friends who are Muslim, they're still doing what they're doing, you know what I'm saying? So it's different, it's give or take, if that makes sense. Do you get me? Whereas if I look at my younger brother's friends, you know, mashallah, you know, every day, Fajr to Isha, they're always at the mosque, praying at the mosque, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Always studying, my younger brother's friends and that. That's the friends he's attracted, the good side of the Muslim friends, you know what I'm saying? Whereas you could say, me, I've probably attracted the wrong side, the wrong end of it, if that makes sense. Not really, bro. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I understand what you're saying.
So I think it's give or take, if that makes sense.
Because one of the things is, you know, we always have this discussion, even with some of the guests. You know, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made everybody different.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, and everybody's got a skill, as long as the skill's being used in the right way.
Yeah.
So let's say it's football. And you got footballers like Muhammad Salah, Sadio Mane, they pray, they do their sujood, they make their dua, and the professional footballers. So, you know, your brother's doing his thing, positive, you're doing your thing, positive, you know, and it's all good.
Exactly. And yeah, so I think that's from then on, it's just kind of changed, didn't it? For me, you know, I knew my goal, what I want to achieve in life. And that's it, really. Yeah.
So, go on.
No, I was just saying that Newham is kind of known, even lately anyway, for a lot of stabbings and between mainly Somalians, from what I hear as well, like 2 different Somali gangs. So have you heard about that? Is there friends of yours that are in that? Because you said some of your Somali friends that are a bit further up. And what is the situation like? Is it calming down?
I think now it's calming down, but it's only been recently it's calmed down. I think if you go back on 2019-20, where it was strong, you know. But now it's kind of calming down. Everyone's getting about to what they're doing and stuff. So
This where you live?
this is where I live, yeah. So where I live in Newham, and then you've got another borough next to Newham, and then you've also got another borough on the other side of Newham as well of different Somali gangs who are getting at each other, if that makes sense. But I kind of I
didn't
was
fall into that
easily, because some of my friends, like again, growing up with college, are still involved in that sense, if that makes sense. But I feel like what kept me out of it, and alhamdulillah, what kept me out of that situation, not being around that, was football. Was my non-Muslim friends who love football, and I was always with them and playing football constantly, trying to achieve a goal, trying to play Premier League when I was that age, you know what I'm saying? So that kind of kept me out of it. I had another focus, if that makes sense. So, you know, yeah, and that's...
I think that's positive. You know, sometimes when we discuss what should you do for youngsters, of course, there's hifd of Quran and, you know, studying fiqh and so on, but it's not for everyone. You know, if kids are idle, they're going to get up to stuff which is kind of like problematic. But now you're giving them football, you're giving them boxing, you're giving them martial arts, you're giving them businesses, apprenticeships. All of these things help. It's not one thing is a solution, but you know, like it's football's helped Mustafa. Same thing that we need to kind of like explore.
You do find in most areas, even like when we talk about where I'm from with Deptford, these kind of areas, you used to find out that there are many different batches. You used to have what we used to call the street boys. These are the ones who dress up and try to look for women all the time. And then you
in the blue suit,
in a blue suit, whatever suit they're wearing, but and you had those street boys with the curly hair and all of that. Then you had their so-called gangsters who just out there shooting and robbing or whatever. And then you have your footballers. Do you know what I'm trying to say to you? That all they done was football, but they know everyone.
Yeah.
You know,
And that was me.
this is what I'm saying.
So I was like bang in the middle of that. So I was a footballer who knew what all the madness was going on. Do you know what I'm saying?
But your matches or whatever you was doing kept you away.
Yeah, kept me away. Do you know what I'm saying? My training schedules kept me away. Do you get me?
Just a few things on that, Mustafa. So in terms of, you know, support, you know, you've come as a youngster from Finland. Okay, I think at that time, the Somali community is also very small, especially in East London. You're looking at Newham, it's mainly Asian, Muslim community. So did you find from your early years and then your teen years, there was support in terms of deen-wise, people who are kind of like guiding you, supporting you, advising you? Was that there? Or
100%. In terms of deen-wise, I think, I don't know, I can only speak for my background, but a lot of Somali backgrounds, I feel like our parents, you know, they push you to the deen-wise, you know what I'm saying? So my support has been there till now, really. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you know, from my mum, my pops and the family, everyone else, you know what I'm saying? We're all together because of the religion, really, because it hasn't divided anyone. So,
but do you think it's pushed in a way where the youngsters understand? They understand their faith? Because, you know, one thing is memorization.
Yeah.
One thing is doing certain actions.
Yeah.
And another thing is understanding why you're doing those actions.
Yeah.
And understanding verses of the Quran. Was the understanding there, or was it just, you know what, okay, I'm doing...
Muslims pray.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's 50-50, you know. The understanding was there, definitely. I knew what was right from wrong. Do you know what I'm saying? I knew what, at a young age as well, you know what I mean? I knew what was right and wrong. I did understand some of the stories Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam's gone through and stuff. You know, we was told many of these stories, do you know what I'm saying? And in terms of our understanding in the push, I think it was more push though, you know, trying to be a hafiz and trying to, you know, learn the Quran, do you know what I'm saying? Rather than the understanding of the religion in terms of why you're doing this and why you're praying 5 times a day. And just understanding. It's not been pushed as strong, I believe, but it was. In my household, definitely was. When I was getting madrasa though, it was more like the Quran. You know what I'm saying? Focused on that. But
okay. And the other thing was in terms of, so maybe it's a bit kind of like complicated and deep, but you know, the Somali community in Newham, the youngsters. So we kind of like engage with a lot of youngsters and have discussions.
Yeah.
And a lot of people say the young Somalis, especially the guys on the road, are some of them are young, very young.
Very young, yeah.
Yeah.
I know a lot of them now, yeah.
But very notorious. So that's one issue. Why is that the case? And the other issue is, you know, like, if you look at the Caribbean community, it's very later on they've kind of like started beefing themselves. It's kind of like a united community. But sometimes with the young Somali kind of like gangs, it's like they're only targeting Somalis. You know, at least a bit of kind of like...
You know what it was? I think it's been recently though. I feel like recently that's happened. I'll say in the past 5 years, I'll say.
Okay.
I think before that, if you were Somali, when I was young, anyways, when I was going through high school, college and whatnot, if you were Somali, you know, we always protected ourselves, do you get me? Or if you see someone from another town or whatever in Somali, make sure they're good, do you get me? But nowadays, what I've seen and what I hear and what I know of, I feel like what's changed that aspect is because of how we see different communities. You know, before, you know, you had different postcodes fighting each other, do you get me? Or you're from that block or whatever. But now Somalis are turned that into another thing where, you know, now that it's grown, especially the community of Somali in London, if man's from North London or a man's from West London or whatnot, they don't care if you're Somali, bro. They don't care if you're Muslim, do you get me? They'll do you, do you know what I'm saying? So it's changed now because I feel like the community has become so common. Do you get me? Because there's so many of us now, it's become so common, so it's nothing new. Do you get me? I'm seeing if I take a left down this road now, I'm gonna see a Somali family or something. Do you get me? Because there's so many of us. Whereas before, where the community was so small, everyone had to stick by each other. Do you know what I'm saying? Stick by each other.
So one of the things that we try and kind of like push, you know, the concept of wala, loyalty for Muslims. You see another Muslim, there's a sense of loyalty and love, sense of support, a sense of advice and help, you know, Somali or non-Somali, but you know, having that's quite important. Yeah, and of course, you know, wishing khair, goodness for even the non-Muslims, and you know, we don't want kind of like these. So what do you think about that? And is there something that we could outreach some of the youngsters, Somali youngsters in Newham? Because that's our bridge. That's our work. That's the work behind the scenes. Is that something that you can facilitate for us?
Definitely in terms of the Somali community, 100%.
I can give you some names. I can give you some names later on.
Nah, definitely. In terms of the Somali community, there's different areas that they're well dominated at. You know what I'm saying? I'm a very fond of Northwest London, I believe. The Somali community there. Some of them, a lot of them are tight, but you still have the odd, you know, areas in Northwest that are battling out with each other and Somali. But you know, a majority of them, I'll say majority of them, they support each other. Do you know what I mean? They're building stuff together. Do you know what I'm saying? Whereas if I look at my side of the spectrum, East London now, we're completely far off. Do you know what I'm saying? Where I live. Do you know what I'm saying? So, you know, we've got the Ilford lot beefing the Upton Park lot, and then you've got the Mile End lot beefing Bethnal or whatever, whatnot. Do you know what I'm saying? And they're close, they're neighbours. Do you know what I'm saying? They're neighbours. Do you get me? So, in terms of now, I look at it as it's harder to get to their heads because worse things have happened. Do you know what I'm saying? You've lost people for this. So it's hard to turn over because it's my man's cousin or my man's brother. Do you know what I'm saying? So how do you expect man to switch his head and say, you know what, I'm gonna leave it? It's hard because, you know, in that sense, the only way I can resort to is the deen. Do you know what I'm saying?
That's it.
It showed them the deen. Do you get me? But they're not trying to hear it. Do you get me?
But when somebody comes and says, look, I'm sorry. I done that to your boy or to your brother. Forgive me for the sake of Allah. Then the other person should have an open heart to say, Khalas, I've wronged someone, probably. Yeah, he's wronged one of my guys or one of my boys. He's asking for forgiveness. You know, case should be closed, Yahi.
Yeah, I mean, easy.
You like to think so?
Yeah, it's easier said than done, I think. But at the end of the day, you can only only way you can see it is just tapping into their mind, innit? Which is kind of impossible, do you know what I mean? So you have to kind of leave that will and power with Allah, do you know what I'm saying? So it's definitely something that we need to push. A lot of us people, like, you know, that have come from that background, like people like myself and the Muslim community, do you know what I'm saying? A lot of people who have this, who these people look up to, I would say, do you know what I'm saying? So it's just pushing that. And I've done, trust me, I've been in there, I've tried to do my bit, do you get me, on not bringing it to light, do you get me, and trying to show these young kids that are coming up now, you know, I've done some coaching events for these little under 13 teams, Somali teams, and just turning up and seeing their faces and, you know, showing them the way of life, and football's not the end goal, even if it don't work out, there's other opportunities, you know what I'm saying? And it's just showing them a different way of life. But nowadays, what we're seeing is success is seen in a different light. Success now is seen of having the biggest car and having the biggest house and having the biggest jewelry and having, you know what I mean, all these kind of all these kind of materialistic things. So, you know, it's a way of showing people what success really is in life and in the hereafter. You know what I'm saying? So it is a challenge, and it will be a challenge going on, because again, we're seeing the Meek Mills who are dominating the world, and the, whatever you want to call it, the Mayweathers and whatnot. Do you know what I'm saying?
Culture, basically, that they want to be part of, basically.
Yes, exactly.
I think a lot of it, when we was talking about why is it that, like, gangs or people that look like each other start to fight each other, you point to that one of them, which is sometimes when it's a small knit community, you support each other, but the bigger you become, the more you start to find little issues to dispute over. And that happened in the South as well, with all village and other areas like the Old Kent or whatever it may be. It's the same story. But what I would add further to that is a majority of the time, it's also a loss of identity. You don't know who you are anymore. After a certain amount of time, if you bring someone, say from Somalia now, who's 18, he sees another person, there's a straight connection, because he's come from a place where everyone is like that and there is no violence like that. Whereas here, if you've been raised from, say, 8 or 7 or 6, it doesn't matter, and you're mixed with other people from Nigeria or whatever it may be, white or whatever, your identity becomes British. It's not, I'm Somalian or anything like that. Is, well, these are all my friends, which is a good thing in essence as well. It's like, well, everyone here is equal, we're all friends. So I don't see another person as being different to me. You understand?
I mean,
I see you as just any other person. So who are you, basically? I'll still stab you, I'll still shoot you, because you're no different. Whereas someone else will think, actually, you know what, I'm Muslim first, and I'm also Somalian. That there is a connection between us. We look like each other, we talk like each other. Let me at least stop that side. Do you know what I'm trying to say to you? So I think identity is a big thing for these youngsters. They don't care that this guy could be a Muslim or a Somalian.
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head.
Anyone gets it, basically, because I'm British first, I'm whatever first, I'm this gang first, I'm SC first, I'm NW first. That becomes their identity. You
I mean, I mean, so I feel like, you hit the nail on the head. I think that's definitely one of the main issues as well. You know what I mean? People not knowing their backgrounds and the hardship it took us to get it. Do you know what I'm saying? So,
at the same time, I feel like, I mean, shouldn't the Islamic knowledge, I think I've mentioned it every time, is it? I mean, certain things are simple, innit? I mean, forget a Muslim. You don't kill a non-Muslim. You don't stab a non-Muslim.
I mean,
you know, so there's certain things which are clear-cut. You don't need to be a scholar of Quran and Hadith and so on to know. So why? You know, it should be straightforward and simple.
No, it's just that the deeper you get into something, the more consciousness you lose, Imam. Trust me. You see, the deeper you get into this road life, it's like, you know, even the Prophet ﷺ said, when you do a sin, it's like a black dot goes in your heart. And then you do another sin, a black dot goes in your heart. So imagine your heart is white and you just keep having dots. You get to a stage where it's all black. And so the consciousness of goodness is out of your brain. You're stabbing someone. Imagine taking a knife and putting it into someone's body. You have to shut off your emotional side for you to be able to do that. When you sell a drug that kills that person slowly, a part of your brain is closed off. A part of your heart is closed off. And that takes years. It doesn't just happen overnight. It's years of slowly evil things that you're doing, that when you get to the stage of doing that type of evil, God where? God only comes to your heart maybe when you're about to die now. When you're about to get shot, when you're about to do a 30-year prison, then you think of God. But when you're doing all these stuff, Islam or anything's not in their brain. So it's difficult to approach some of these youngsters about deen. You have to approach them from a different angle, maybe about experiences, maybe about money. You want to make money? Let me show you how to make money. In another way, like you just said, about there's different ways of success. That's another angle probably, rather than deen straight away for these youngsters.
I mean,
I think we call it.
And in terms of just so, you know, now in terms of playing for Batis, the team that you mentioned, so 2 things to that. One is, have you got further plans in terms of progressing from there into, you know, semi-professional, not professional teams? We had one of the brothers here, Wasim, and he's like a agent for Mukhtar Jama. So Mukhtar Jama is a Somali guy, but he was born in Saudi.
Okay.
So Wasim was able to, and he came here, he was living here. I think he played for Chelsea.
Oh, Mukhtar Ali.
Mukhtar Ali, is it?
Yeah,
Okay.
Mukhtar Ali, yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
so Wasim got him to play. He's in a
I
Saudi.
play with his younger brother. Yeah, good. Yeah.
So any plans in terms of, going further with this?
In terms of changing Batis as a club, like progressing into semi-professional football and stuff, I don't think that's our goal.
Okay.
Our goal is more, because a lot of us boys that play for Batis, they play for semi-professional clubs on a Saturday.
Okay.
They ramen and more of their time where they get their pays and whatnot, they get paid for playing football.
Okay.
Whereas Batis is looked at in a different way, where friends are coming together and trying to build something and just bringing that unity. We're from East London. Yeah, we scream East London. And reason why we scream East London is not because we hate South London or we hate North London or we hate West London. Do you know what I mean? It's because...
You sure? Yeah.
Nah, I'm 100% sure. Even though there's a couple man in South East and that,
next week we've got SC Dons here.
Nah. It's okay. Nah. Reason why we do that is because we want to... People from Stratford, people from Custom House, people from Maryland and who are having this old postcode wars and plaster whatnot, is to come together and say, look at these man, like East London, Do you know what I'm saying? So when these men do see us, they're like, yeah, they're Batis, you get me? They're cool, man. We rep the whole East, do you get me?
Not a specific area.
Not a specific area, do you get me? So it's just bringing that unity in our community, where we live. And inshallah, in the future, it's just bringing that to the whole country, domestically, if that makes sense. And just bringing unity to see what boys have done coming together. Do you know what I'm saying? And it's a platform for anyone to come on and showcase their talent.
Are you the founder of it, Tari?
Yeah, I was one of the founders. Me and 10 of my friends started in 2017. At first, it was just banter stuff, challenges and stuff. And then a year later, we got into Sunday League.
Okay.
So the first year, when we was doing the challenges, it kind of took off from there. We done some viral challenge that got us into Soccer AM and whatnot. It was all like nice and fairy. And then you kind of hit a block, you're like, oh, what should we do next? You know what I mean? And we say, you know what? One of our old gaffers, a lot of us know. You know what I mean? Justin was our manager the first season. And yeah, he gave Theo and me a shot. I said, yo, why do you bring the boys in to my Sunday team and grow from there? And then we started that. And then, yeah, man, it was good, man. It was fun. Because none of us have done that before. Like, a lot of us, we play for different clubs, but we're all close. We link up on a Sunday and occasion and we play together, Power League and stuff like that. But on a Sunday now, it's like we got together, made a team.
Okay.
You know what I mean? The best players in our area, where we're from, and we just play.
So before we go further into, the future and whatever, how did Batis even start? Like the name, where does it come from? Things like that.
Yeah, so Batis, it's a Congolese word. Batis actually means calamity. When you're doing something wrong or whatever, when we're playing football, we tend to say, he's on the Batis today. It's funny, it's something funny. Or we laugh and say, that's the Batis. Do you know what I'm saying? It's actually a Congolese word. It actually means stupidity, if that makes sense. Okay. So normally, that word stems from defenders making mistakes. When a defender does something funny or booky, that lets him go, it's Batis, he's on the Batis. Do you know what I'm saying?
So do you have Congolese team members or something?
Not even, but a lot of the people that we used to play with when we was younger, the older lot, the majority of them were Congolese.
Okay.
So Boschy, one of them, Biki, Medi Alito, and people them lot, they used to just say that word and it just kind of grew in our community, Batis. And we were saying that from young.
Okay.
And then, and that's where the name actually started from, Batis. That's where it started from. And then we just, 10 of our friends now, before Batis actually started and becoming in front of the camera, we was playing in tournaments, football tournaments, Nike tournaments, Adidas tournaments. And we was entering the name Batis Squad. We used to laugh about it. I just put Batis Squad. Do you get me? Calamity Squad, basically. Yeah. You know what I mean? And we used to go and win it. You know what I'm saying? We used to go win these tournaments.
It started from like a meme and then...
so we just literally entered these tournaments, Nike, Adidas tournaments. We was winning them as Batis Squad. So people were looking like, this team then, what is the team then? Do you get me? And when people are searching, they're like, there must be Kalama or something. Do you know what I mean? Something fun.
Yeah.
And then from there we just didn't change. We just didn't change the name. When we started, 10 of our friends, we just kept it. We just rolled with that name, Batis Squad. Do you know what I mean? It stuck with us. People knew the Batis Squad before the cameras, if that makes sense.
You lot grew into the name in essence. You forgot about what it meant.
Yeah. So, and that's literally how we got into it. And then now, look at it now, like people are like, yeah, Batis squad, do you get me? They're saying it in a positive way. Whereas before it could have been a negative. It was a negative word, really. It means a negative word like calamity, stupidity, do you know what I'm saying? But now people just hindsight know
what it stands for. It stands for you lot's success in essence.
Yeah. So that's what it means.
Day one, you were with
Yeah, so from day one, literally, yeah. So day one, it was me, Jay Knight, Theo, Quincy, Michael, Meher, Mark at the time, Michael Obueng, and Osen Ebbs. And obviously Lloyd as well, the cameraman at the time. And then like that was us. Do you know what I mean? Doing challenges, doing funny stuff. Do you know what I'm saying? And then that's when the Sunday team got involved a year later. And obviously we needed more numbers now to get into the team because 11 aside and substitutes, you know how it is. Yeah. And then that's when people like Stephen Carville got involved and the other boys you see now, if that makes sense.
And the initial guys, are they still with you? They're still part of the team?
Majority of them.
The 10 that you mentioned.
The 10 that I've mentioned, I would say 2's still not there. Okay. So 2 have left, if that makes sense. I mean, they both kind of made it public anyways. So Theo and Lloyd, the one of our camera guys who's left. With them, it was more of a dispute, you know. I'd rather not speak on that, speak for them, but they had some, things just didn't work out and just parted ways really. So
I don't know if it's controversial or not. So who was first with this camera thing? SC Dons or you lot?
Oh no, it's not controversial. SC Dons. SC Dons were the first. I wouldn't say they're the first. Obviously, you had Hashtag and Palmers who were doing football content in terms of teams, Sunday League, and then SC Dons, and then we was after SC Dons, not far off. I think we're like 2 years after them. I think.
So would you say they kind of push you lot in that field as well? Was they kind of like, I wouldn't say role models, but someone that you saw do a path for you? Like,
I mean, you could say that in terms of the Sunday thing, but when we first started, it was just challenges and fun. Do you know what I'm saying? Just recording and doing 5-shot challenge and hitting a crossbar challenge. But then after that, you know, you kind of think like, oh, what else can you do with the football? Do you know what I'm saying? And
their one wasn't about that, was it?
No, they were straight Sunday League. Yeah. Yes, they were straight Sunday, every week, turn up, play. Do you get me? And they were recording that. And I feel like SC Dons, what they've done previously has kind of influenced us to get into that. But I wouldn't say not dominantly because the way we attacked it was completely different to them. We didn't even watch them at the time, do you know what I'm saying? But then when we got into it, it's like, yo, do you know what I'm saying? They're doing big things, you know what I mean? So we kind of collided in that sense, do you know what I'm saying? So, you know, you tend to look at, regardless in any field you go on, you always look at your competition, do you know what I'm saying? So when we went into Sunday League, we looked into that competition and said, yo, like, you know what I mean? I see Dons. They're up there, Palmers and stuff like that. So we had to build around that, if that makes sense. So it was good, man. It was, man, we've clashed with them quite a lot over the years. You know what I mean? At the moment, we're winning in games. So, man.
And yourself, Mustafa, you know, any vision for the future for yourself? Another team, professional football, abroad, you know?
Me personally, no. It's too late for that for me now. But when I was younger, when I was like 20, I think my dream of becoming a professional kind of died when I was like 23. And that's when Batis kind of started. After that, when I was like, I wasn't really on it, you know, traveling miles away. And at the age of 23, imagine, man, like these teams are not even paying you enough to get to these places. You know what I'm saying? Like £50 a week and you're going traveling 2 hours and stuff like that. So the same pro weren't even paying you enough to do those things. You know what I mean? So I kind of packed it in, and then that's when Batis kind of started. Okay. So in terms of me, it's just personally for me, it's just showing people that even if you know the dream don't work, because it's 1%, and 1% of people make professional football. Do you know what I'm saying? So if that don't work, man, there's always different avenues. You know what I'm saying? Whether that's coaching, whether that's being a content creator, whether that's being a physio, whether there's loads of avenues. Do you know what I'm saying? In media as well. You get me? To get into football. Do you know what I'm saying? And it's not even just football. It could be other talents that you might have, businesses. Do you know what I'm saying? And I'm one of the few who've kind of stepped back from football and saw another avenue into football. Okay. If that makes sense. Yeah. So
what's that? Step back in what way?
Step back from football in terms of chasing that dream.
Okay.
And then find another avenue into the media side of football and just showcasing what I got talents and just sending a message to people, if that makes sense. Showing that enjoying football is the best way.
Okay. And right now, are you just a player, or are you kind of like manager or something?
I'm a player at the moment, but I also get involved in terms of talent, like content-wise. So
Okay.
I'm more the face kind of with other many faces, obviously, in front of the camera, doing debate. Sometimes it could be like we do this thing, how can I forget it? Oh, they're going to kill me if they see this, but we do this show, you know what I'm saying, where we're debating at each other.
You forgot the name of it, yeah?
Forgot the name of it. But
I saw before I come here that you lot had Sadio Mane and all of those.
Yeah, so those are our challenges. I wasn't even at that Sadio Mane shoot. I was actually I was at another shoot with, I think it was with Arsenal Fan TV and stuff like that. Some other shoot I was in. Do you get me? So, but yeah, that was another shoot. The boys took over. It was Sadio Mane, Chamberlain, Keita at Liverpool. That's when Liverpool was sponsored by New Balance. So yeah, it was good, man. Batis, man, it's come a long way since we started. Do you know what I mean? Now we're seeing sponsorships. Do you know what I'm saying?
So even on that now, how do you lot see yourself? Do you see yourself as a business now? How do what is the angle of it? Content creators, footballers still.
And that's the thing, it depends. If you ask me that question or my manager that question, you know what I mean? If you ask me that question, it's more enjoying it while you're in it, if that makes sense. Because I'm never gonna be in it all my life. Do you get me? There'll be a time when my legs stop working. Do you know what I'm saying? And then I have to find something else to do. Do you know what I'm saying? So if you look at now, my manager would say it's a business. Now, because it's football now, there's a expectancy of playing football. I'm not gonna be there. Do you know what I'm saying? So now Batis, we created that platform. I'll always be a part of it, whether that's managing, being behind the scenes or whatever, because obviously, like you said, one of the founders and stuff. But it's a platform now for people from where I'm from to come in and look, this is yours now. Showcase what you got. Do you know what I mean? Enjoy it while you're here. You know what I mean? And there's loads of young talents that we got, like Samuel Jeremiah, who's like 19 years old, like naughty player, like quality player. And inshallah, he gets to where he needs to get to. You know what I mean? So
because what happens with that is even that's what I'm saying. So when you look at it even from a business perspective, is that because you lot have that type of a platform and so many people watch it, I would like to think there are people in certain positions that would watch that and then take that youngster out.
Yeah, and that's happened. That's happened quite a lot with us. Wiles was playing for us, had an opportunity with Derby, didn't quite fall through. Him had, teams in another league or like higher in the division, like, oh, he's a player. Do you know what I mean? It happens. Do you get me? Samuel Jeremiah now, one of our young boys. Do you know what I'm saying? A lot of people are interested in, who does he play for? And who's this guy? Come out of nowhere. Do you know what I'm saying? And we've given that platform to them. Do you know what I'm saying? Come here, enjoy it. And one of the funny things that one of the boys, young boys, there was an opportunity, knocked at his door saying, look, there's a conference prem team that wants you. And he was like, but I don't want to leave the boys. I looked at him and I said, are you crazy? You know what I mean? Like, are you crazy? I get it, like, it's fun, with the guys, you're playing, you're enjoying, but this is better in your life. You know what I mean? I'd love for you to stay and win us games, but bro, like,
It's better for you to go there.
Better for you in the long run.
Come back to us after.
Yeah. Do you get me? So, and then looking back at that, I remember having that conversation when he turned around and said that. And then I looked back at it and I was like, right, I see what he means though, because we bring that enjoyment element to it. Do you get me? So, yeah.
One thing, Mustafa, I think important for youngsters, especially like Muslim youngsters, to see people who are successful, like yourself, different industries, in your case, football, but for them to see with this success and, the blessings Allah has given me, I'm still proud of my Islamic Muslim identity. So do you showcase that?
You know what? I actually do, in a sense, because I don't know if you watch some of the videos. There's some videos, not in a sense where I'm pushing Islam, in a sense we're giving da'wah or whatnot, but you hear me say a lot of phrases, Islamic phrases. Do you get me? Within the show, like one of our keeper made a mad save, I'll be like, and then I'll just say something like mashallah or like bail out. Do you get me? Like a lot of Islamic phrases, you know what I'm saying? You hear that from me in the videos. But in terms of or when something's even wrong, I'll be like, astaghfirullah, like to my to my non-Muslim friend, I'm like, astaghfirullah, what are you doing? Do you know what I'm saying? Do you get me? You hear that on the show and people tend to find it hilarious. Like you hear the comments and that, do you know what I'm saying? You see the comments and that. People, lot of them, and it's Muslim people commenting, you know? They're like, they're laughing about, Aki Muss, do you know what I'm saying? And stuff like that. So, yeah, so I kind of bring that in. It's a culture at home, innit? And that's how we speak at home, how I speak to my brothers and my sisters, you know what I'm saying? So I bring that kind of culture in front of the camera, just being myself, if that makes sense. Yeah.
So in that as well now is there are many people doing recordings and things like this. Obviously, SC Dons has made it to a certain degree.
Yeah.
You said Palmers and whatever. What are the ingredients that make that happen, would you say, when you look into you lot's steps?
SC Dons and us were completely different. SC Dons, they are very more, how do I say this? They are very more like, at your face, like, yeah, like screaming, like trying to act like big men and whatnot. Whereas us, and obviously you can see they're having fun as well. And that's just their personality. Whereas us is more, you get the dancing, a couple of guys dance, you get a couple of the guys, the singers, and you get whatnot. Do you know what I'm saying? All in one. Do you know what I'm saying? And just guys just bantering and just laugh. It's more softer. Do you know what I'm saying? Whereas them are like, yeah, tackles, big tackles, seeing someone getting hurt and stuff like that. Do you know what I'm saying? WWE in a sense, when you watch their stuff. Whereas I was more soft, enjoy it, bit of skills, bit of fun. Do you get me? So I guess that wins at the end of the day anyways, because it's evident, isn't it? So yeah.
Oh, it's Strapsy, come. I'm joking.
Nah, but yeah, so I think that's the way to describe it. But I feel like the ingredient I was saying, man, just showing that, unity between the teams, innit? You know what I mean? And being consistent. Like, that's one thing I told a lot of my team, a lot of friends.
Recording or the work, what?
Both. Recording, work, and just determination from everyone to make it work and just not watching the numbers, man. Because a lot of man will start this. I've seen a lot of teams come and go, man. They're starting like friends in locally, you know what I mean? They start it, they put 3 videos up and they're like, yeah, you get me? Bro, we started there. We was putting videos up and we was getting like 100, 500 views, you know what I mean? Like that. But we just kept it going. And it just grew, do you know what I'm saying? And then people are looking at quick success rather than gradual. You know what I mean? I think it's, again, social media, man. I make £1,000 in a day or something. You know them man there, like, yeah, that means, yeah, boom, I'll do it today. Do you get me? Like, don't work like that, man. You don't work like that. When you're getting into these schemes or when you're getting into these, whatever you want to get into, it takes time to build. You know what I mean? You're going to make mistakes in a way. You know what I'm saying? You're going to take the wrong turn sometimes and try to bring you back into the right path. And you know what I mean? Things do take time and people just need to have that patience.
Do you have mentors or people that are maybe in a different field that guide you lot in any way, or is it all team effort and whatever you're learning?
Now we do have management, not in terms of our football manager, because Billy is our football manager. He solely plays on making sure the team succeeds and wins, and just how a football manager operates, innit? And then we have a management team, the Osse and Ebbs. We started with Osse, Ebbs, and now Janai is part of that as well, who tend to mentor us in terms of media, in terms of the right direction or sponsorship deals and whatnot, really. So, yeah, so we do have a little team who sort that out for us. And whereas us, we're just me and the rest of the boys, we're more so the talent and just showcasing what we got, if that makes sense, in front of the camera. But yeah, man.
You've got like a well-oiled machine.
Yeah, and then, we also got Chris as well, who's the head of the camera. Like, he's the head, and we've got obviously people recording, and he's the head more, oversees the edits and whatnot. So he has grown from just being one camera guy, editing everything, bringing in stress, and 2 management team trying to orchestrate. And before it was everyone all in one, whereas now it's more like
different departments.
Yeah, different departments. You've got the management, you've got the head of media who does the cameras and the social media and whatnot. And then you've got the players and obviously you've got the football manager and stuff like that. So yeah, man.
No, man, sounds good, man. And I hope, it keeps increasing as you lot success.
No,
seem like some down-to-earth brothers. And lastly, as we usually do, what advice is there to yourself as a youngster, and ideally for youngsters watching this, how to do something that you're doing, how to get out of wherever they're in or whatever it may be?
What got me I would say, is having a support system. You know what I mean? And leaning towards them. You know, a lot of us have support systems, and you tend to hide away from your pains, if that makes sense. As men, naturally, even now, like, you know, you don't tend to share what you're going through, you know? You don't want to tell the brother next to you what you're going through, you know what I mean? And that could be your blood, you know? I'm talking like your dad, your mum, and wherever. And whatever you're going through, just be open about it, you know? How little it is or how big it is, you know what I'm saying? And there's always that support system in place, and just being open, I feel like. And in terms of business, I would say keep striving, like keep being persistent and determined, because one day you never know, man. Whereas I've seen people, you know, 3-5 months in, like nothing working for them, and then literally one day they wake up, his life's changed. You know what I'm saying? So, and lastly, Dean, man, you know what I mean? Keeping faith, you know, whether you're going through pain, whether you're going through happiness, wherever it could be, you know what I'm saying? Just making sure you have that faith, man. You know, I've been at a stage in my life where I've kind of questioned the Dean, you know, like, why is this happening? You know, why is this happening? You know what I'm saying? And we've all been there. But then, yeah, man, and then just, you know, maybe you could say that was probably the lowest part of my imam at the time. And then, you know, finding out the reasons why, you know, and just putting your head deep into the religion and finding out why these are happening and what is the case, you know. And everyone's been through us, man. Just keeping that faith, man, and keeping strong. That's it. That's what I'm saying.
Strong advice, man. Jazakumullah khair, bro. Inshallah, we'll catch up with SE Dons and see their versions.
Yeah. Big up. No, honestly, no, big them up though. They're doing big things.
Oh, that's family.
I'm happy for them. That's cool. 100%.
I'll say no more, man. Jazakumullah khair anyway. And yeah, we'll catch you on the next one. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.